My name is Hakakura and welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today, and this is my first time streaming or making a video, so you'll have to bear with me while I stumble my way through. The agenda for this video is to have a chat about my future plans for the channel and what it's going to be about and what I'm going to be doing, and this requires a bit of a backstory. So about a year and a half ago, I had a woodworking and metal fabrication business going on. And one day I came out and I felt like off and fatigued, and I was in a lot of pain. And I thought maybe I had just been pushing too hard and I needed a break at that time. And I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, in addition to work outside the shop as well. So I took the rest of the day off and I felt sort of rested, but just not quite right. The next day, I decided to take it easy, not pushing myself too hard, because owning a business is a marathon and not a sprint. Well, it didn't work. And later on that night, I ended up in the ER with terrible muscle spasms and paralysis down both my arms. I had pins and needles in my neck, shoulders, arms, and my tongue too, which was really weird. And I thought maybe I was having like a stroke or a seizure or something. I really didn't know what was going on. And I'm a disabled vet, so I thought it might be something related. And I found out later that it was. And I had never experienced any kind of symptoms like that before. And it took around 2 to 3 months before I started feeling like myself again. And the symptoms had started fading. So at that point, I was like, that's great. I can get back to work. But, you know, having needed a walker and a cane before, I knew that I needed to take it easy, you know, just to be sure. And so getting out at the shop again, I barely did anything. I did really light work, you know, some sanding. I had some light forging and some stuff to do. And I was really taking it easy and being excessively cautious. But I could feel all of that stuff coming right back, and even worse too. So I stopped, not wanting another trip to the hospital, but ultimately that didn't work. My attempts to get back to work went on for about a month or two, and I'd get out there to the shop, and I'd have to stop within 30 minutes to an hour before the symptoms would return. I ended up at the ER again a couple of times, and the VA too. It became difficult to even dress myself or lift a cup to drink out of. And it was that bad. And it turns out I have a herniated disc in my neck, nerve damage, and a crowded nerve root that's causing all this trouble. And it was recommended that I find another way to work, or it would continue to get worse. And the vibrations, impact, and repeated motions from doing what I was doing kept giving me partial paralysis and pins and needles in my neck, shoulders, and arms, corroborating what I was told by the doctors. So I could keep doing what I was doing and end up in the hospital again, or worse, potentially losing function in my arms or in hands, which was really a bummer because I had spent so much time, effort, and energy working on getting to where I was at, never mind the tool cost, building the business and developing the skills. So I made a decision. But first, a little bit of my background, my tech background, that is, which I'm not entirely without any. When I was a kid, I was into hacking stuff, and I spent a bunch of time reading articles on Yahoo and getting info from the chats and the forums and messing up the family computer. I did some C++ programming too at the time. As a matter of fact, it was the first book that I'd ever bought myself in a bookstore. And I also built a couple gaming PCs in middle and high school. But by and large, it was a hobby sort of thing, nothing serious. In college as well, as a side thing, I got into web development and Python programming, but never beyond the typical calculator app and basic web pages. I thought it was really fun, and I had a great time doing it. After finding out about my new problems, I felt stuck, and the symptoms were present the whole time. So I had to be very careful about what I did, and even normal tasks were very difficult and took a long time to do. And I'm thinking like, well, this really sucks. What's next? What am I going to do? you know? And I'm not one for making decisions based on paychecks or titles or any of that. And I remember how much fun I had doing the tech stuff, and I thought it made sense. So I started learning about coding pretty heavily, getting into tutorials and the like, and thinking that it would be a good opportunity, if anything else. You know, for the life of me, I can't remember which content creator it was, but I came across a hacking video, and as more of those videos started popping up on my feed, I watched those too. And after spending about 10 hours a day learning some basics for about 4 to 6 months, I was pretty obsessed with it. So I went from watching videos and reading articles to building a home lab and doing projects, practicing with sites like TryHackMe, a little Hack the Box, reading books, and practicing on vulnerable VMs. So now I'm at the point where I need to take things to the next level if I expect to earn a career. So that's where I've been and why I'm here. Now the plan for the channel. Currently my schedule is 6 days per week locked in, either doing bug bounty or studying for certification and coding or learning about coding. I spent the last couple weeks of 2025 getting all the social media profiles together and setting up about and learning about streaming and video editing in preparation for what I'll be doing here. My plan is to split my time. Since my butt is in the seat anyways, I figured maybe it would be good to teach others what I'd learned. More for the purposes of solidifying the knowledge in my head and prepping for certifications. Now, because of disclosure guidelines and TOS, I can't show myself doing the hacking portion of bug bounty, but I will be showing my recon methods later on down the road, which are not anything special or unknown if you read about this stuff or watched content online. But then again, neither is anyone you learn it from. It's all got a Control-C, Control-V sort of thing going on. So first off, I'd like to have a different areas of the channel. And most of this will be kind of like a learn, do, teach sort of thing. I've learned and done some basic stuff, and now it's time to teach it. And again, it will help me solidify the knowledge base and prep for the next steps in getting into the cybersecurity field or tech in general. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. So the first topic that the channel is going to cover, and this is not in any particular order of appearance on the channel, but just as I'm thinking it through. The first topic will be general-based cybersecurity knowledge. Which I know there are videos out there almost to the point of oversaturation, but it will help me in reiterating over the knowledge and getting it to stick a lot more in my brain. And hopefully it'll help some of you too. So I'm talking like topics like basic Linux, networking basics, internet basics, web app pen testing and bug bounty, tooling videos, and as I get more advanced and into other stuff too, Active Directory, network hacking, and some SOC stuff as well. Also Linux questions too. I've now installed, reinstalled, messed with multiple distros, mostly Debian based, but I have accumulated a bookmarks file with a bunch of questions that I keep running into but always forget how to do every time. An example of this is I was turning a laptop into a NAS, a network attached storage. And it kept shutting off when I closed the lid, and so I had to go searching for how to make it stop doing that. Well, that's one of the things I saved. I think it'd make a nice quick clip for people to watch. Another one is cyber hygiene for normies. You know, help them out so maybe they can stay clear of the bad guys. I just run into questions or problems that don't have a solution that's readily found, you know, requiring you to sift through lots of unhelpful forum posts or sites. Things I think people would find those useful. Now, many of the categories for the channels, if not all, have overlap. But the second topic that I want the channel to cover is road to certification streams or VODs. And there are two that I'm working toward right now. And that is TCM Security's PWPA and the pen test Practical Web Application Pen Test Associate, and CompTIA's Security Plus. Now, I'm a firm believer in the quote, "A man with experience is never at the mercy of a person with an argument." So it's good to have a knowledge base, but that's got to be tempered with experience for practical purposes, balancing it out for the best real-world results. And as I prep for the exam, I'll be doing live streams of me practicing and explaining my process for hacking and what I'm thinking about when I'm going through vulnerable applications. For example, one of the next streams that I will be doing is running through Juice Shop and doing one of the OWASP top 10s and writing up a pen test report to go along with it, which is prep for the exam. And the PWP exam is 4 days long with 2 days given to you for attack and 2 days writing a pen test report. And I've taken all the necessary coursework for the PWPA, and I feel pretty confident on the individual exploits, tooling, and concepts that the exam covers. And I've taken detailed notes. I've covered the extracurricular info the instructor went over, read about 4 to 5 different books with detailed notes on those too. But hacking or finding the bugs is not the end of the test. You have to write up a professional pen test report too, which is equally, if not more important, in order to convey this information to the customer if you're in a real world scenario. But for the sake of the exam, it's required, which is nice in my opinion, because I noticed that that part is often missing in a bunch of the cybersecurity tutorials, and being able to communicate that in layman terms as well as technical is important. So it will be my other half of the exam preparation that you'll get to see me do. At least for this one, this certification. And I think you all find it useful too. So mostly my live streams and VODs will initially cover this hacking practice on developing my report writing abilities. So that way when I take the exam, my likelihood of success will be increased. The third topic that this channel is going to cover is I would like to go beyond the basics of scripting and coding and get into a little bit more advanced stuff, not only for hacking purposes, but just general knowledge. And I would also like to improve and expand in my recon script and maybe get a GUI made up for that as well. Additionally, I have a few ideas for apps I'd like to create too, and it's not cybersecurity related, and as well as some hardware coding stuff that is not related either. They will be like side projects, and I'd like to stream them and make videos too, because people might find it helpful, interesting, or entertaining. We'll see. I'm also taking a tutorial on Pygame right now and would like to code a game with it without a tutorial for motivation's sake. And this will help solidify some of my coding skills while getting something that's tangible fairly quickly. And I think it'd be a chill stream and fun to watch too. If I end up making a mobile game, maybe I'll put it on the stores and for all you to download for free and play if you like. I have a fair grasp of the syntax and how the language works, but it's time to release the shackles of domestication and make it y'all's problem too. And also, like I said before about my first book being in C++, I'd like to learn that as well for my Xbox achievements. Yeah, it's something that kind of bothers me after learning Python that I didn't finish what I started years ago. And I'd like to learn some other languages too. So you'll get to see me fumble my way through that also. And we'll have to see what we can come up with for some projects. So moving on to the next channel topic. And I'd like to get into making electronics and some hacking gadgets. And making one of these be like making my own Meshtastic nodes, using some Adrenos, Raspberry Pis, ESP32s, and the like. And make some of these DIY projects and ideas that I have in mind. I have next to zero knowledge about how to solder or hook up any of these things, but I got some of the equipment, materials. I got the Practical Electronics for Inventors book. And so as that progresses, I'll be doing streams and VODs for you all. to follow along with, or you can just come hang out while I get to making whatever crazy things I get into. And finally, I'd like to do some game streams. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I plan to be streaming and releasing videos and clips multiple times a week. And one of those days I'll do a kickback and relax gameplay thing, just hanging out and talking. Additionally, it'll give me some nice video to do voiceover with when and if I need it. I got to make sure that I get my rest in too, so I don't burn out, you know. And it'll give me an opportunity to talk with you, and we can get to know each other and hang out. So my plan is to stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays right now at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, but that'll probably change as things go on. I'll be doing either hacking or dev streams, and on Sundays I'll probably be doing the gaming since I'll be relaxing and doing it anyways. I figure might as well turn on the stream and hang out. The next stream coming up is going to be on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be taking a run at Juice Shop. So to summarize, my streams will primarily be hacking, cybersecurity content, dev streams, electronics, and gaming. So overall, I hope that as I get into these things that you'll all find it informative or entertaining. Maybe you'll follow along with me and we can hack or code together. Or you can come over and point and laugh, whatever you like. Either way, I am glad to be doing this and having an amazing time so far. It's been fun and exciting. I'm looking forward to sharing what I'm up to with you all, so don't hesitate to stop by, say hello, or share your thoughts. That's all I've got for you today. It's a real short stream. Thanks for stopping by. Please take a look at my profile. Check it out. I know it's sparse right now, but you'll be able to find all my content as I release it, which should get more regular as time goes on. Thank you for being here and bearing with me during my first stream. I appreciate it very much. I am Hakakura. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, or follow, and I'll be seeing you.